Hello, guys, and welcome to yet another episode of our Sunday Learning Circle brought to you by Skillex in association with Swan. Skillex is a platform through which we bring together various young change makers and entrepreneurs from various walks of life and discuss their experiences and insights on various topics. Today, we have a very special guest with us. She is Masuma Somji, and she is live from Tanzania. She is an advocate in mental health and is a proud feminist. She also works as a teacher and has various things to share with us today. I am your host Janvi, and now without further ado, let's call upon our guest for today, Miss Masuma Somji. Hello Masuma, how are you? I'm great. I'm great. I hope everything is fine at your place.
Yes, I think I was not being able to connect, but once I managed, I think we're good now.
Okay. So today we are going to discuss on various insightful topics, especially mental health, which is very important in today's time. So before starting talking about it, let's begin with your formal introduction to all of our viewers.
Sure, definitely. And thank you so much for having me here. Um, my name is Masuma Somji, as you all know now. I am from Tanzania, that is in East Africa. I am an Indian um, descent Tanzanian. So I'm fourth generation Tanzanian, sort of. My forefathers are Indian from Gujarat. And I very recently took a self-development course, like art-based workshop with Swan Livelihood. And that's when we came to know about Swan Livelihood. And I enjoyed it so much. And that's why I was there back. That's how we met. I am a teacher
Okay.
by profession, and I volunteer with Mental Health Tanzania. I also run a small organization called Ukweli Wangu, which is based on awareness on sexual harassment in Tanzania, but everywhere around the world, mostly concentrating in Tanzania. And I'm a very vocal, very proud feminist. We all should be. We all need to be feminist if we want equality, if we want equity, and if we just, want a better society.
Okay, so why mental health? Because I understand that it is very important for everybody to know about it, but why choose mental health as an advocate to be?
I think because when I was going, when I was going through my divorce, I did not understand mental health at all. I did not know what mental health is. I did not know what depression is. I did not know what stress and anxiety and all that. Those all words were very non-familiar and very much thrown, I don't know, for the West kind of thing. That was my ideology. And the more I began understanding that I am not okay, I knew that something is wrong, but I don't have control over it. It felt like I really don't know what I should do. Like I don't know how to ask for help. What's wrong with me? Um, like my head is not hurting, my stomach's not hurting, my leg is not hurting. Like what is wrong? But yet I'm physically not fine. Like I know that I'm physically not fine, and these attributes actually manifest in our human physical body. So now you're like, okay, I don't know, I'm not fine, I don't feel like doing anything, or I am feeling sleepy all the time, or I cannot sleep at all, or I just cannot stop myself from eating, or I cannot eat at all. And these things are like physical manifestations in the body, but you just don't know what is wrong with you because there is no Okay, stomach hurting, this is what you can do. Head hurting, this is what you can do. Because we're so concentrated on our physical attributes in life. We know when physically we get hurt what we should do, but we don't know when mentally we get hurt what we should do. It is such a it's such a forgotten topic.
I can totally relate to it because the situation is no different than in the entire world right now. So, yes, we are going to discuss more about it, but first of all, what is the actual definition of mental health? What is it?
Mental health is something we all have. You have a mental health. I have a mental health. Is it good or is it not good? We have a physical health. We just need to look at it like that. We have a physical health. We're healthy, we're moving, we're not hurting anywhere. I don't know, we don't have diseases in us. That means we have physical health. We have good physical health. And when we are hurting somewhere, we have bad physical health. And the same way, we have either a good mental health or a bad mental health. And this can range from like a little to a very, very vast, huge thing. And this is just not like, how do I say, this is just not uh, mind-based only, because there are also, uh, people who are born with mental health, difficulties. People who are born with chemicals in their brain that does not help them function in the best way mentally. And so, yeah, that is what mental health is in a nutshell. And mental health is actually just your uh, health in the mind, in the brain, which either is good or bad.
So, right now, what are the top mental health issues prevailing in people?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Um, right now, what are the top mental health issues that are prevailing in people? I know there are many, but what are like the most common issues with people?
Wow, the most common issue in like mental health right now, obviously apart from stress and anxiety, is depression. It says that at least 1 in every 5 people suffer from depression. Either have suffered, either will suffer, or are going through it right now. Imagine 1 in every 5 people. That is a lot. Like, that is literally like one in every family.
Right. So how do we identify that we are suffering from something that we are not able to figure out what it is?
So I think that identification has been the most difficult because the awareness is not enough. We don't know that what mental health is, or we don't know uh, what what are we suffering. So I'll give you a few examples, and then I will tell you like how we can identify. But I'll tell you an example. Like, my friend, she was suffering from mental health issues, but she did not know. And she was like, oh, I'm just sad, I'm depressed, but this is happening, that is happening. Now, it's like, oh, you'll be fine, nobody understands. So they're like, oh, you'll be fine, stop making it a big deal, like, you're just asking for attention, you're just doing this, you're just doing this. She stopped sharing. And yet she was getting worse and worse, and to a point that she also got suicidal, but she did not know what's wrong. And she kept just putting it in herself. And that manifested as a very, very bad um, nervous system. So then she started getting like heart races and chest pain and arm pains and stomach ulcers and things like that. And when she went to the doctor, because it was like she really got scared, like, what is wrong with me? Why is my chest hurting? Why is there so much of heart palpitations and things like that? And the doctor checked her. She was like, oh my God, I'm having a heart attack. Or, like, it just felt like a young 23-year-old girl going through so much, and she got so scared. And when she went to the doctor, it was like, hey, you have depression. Like, there is nothing else wrong with you. Like, all this has manifested from that. So imagine that understanding when we have depression or when we are going through a mental health illness is so hard because the awareness is so less. And I think that depression actually just means, like, we ourselves in our lives always go through like a happy moments and sad moments. And it is never going to be like always happy, it's never going to be always neutral. We're always going to fluctuate, we'll lose somebody. We are human. We are supposed to feel all that. But when the sadness prolongs, and I'm saying like maybe 2 months, 3 months, where the episode of sadness is much more than the time of happiness. So maybe you will feel happy in a day for a little while, or you will feel happy, but then your time spent feeling sad is much more. And then it's prolonged, like over a month, over 2 months, over 3 months, and you just can't get over it. That is actually depression setting in. And physically, you come to know by by your sleep getting disturbed. So either you have insomnia, or you like sleep a lot more. And then another thing that can happen is either people get into binge eating, so they will just take comfort from eating and food and junk and things like that, or they will completely not be able to eat. So, not being able to, like, hating food completely. And then because you feel depression makes you feel like such a burden to society, and such a like I don't deserve to be here. It affects our self-esteem. So then you do not want to be around friends. You do not want to socialize. You find that any sort of too much exposure is too much. You get overwhelmed with everything. So yeah, like, I think social reluctance and closing yourself in is also something that you see manifests. Many a times that a person going through depression does not understand much. So we, as a society, we need to be aware about this, so that when we notice this in our friends, in our relatives, we should be able to help them.
Okay, so after hearing you, I have an experience to share. Like, quite young. I'm not um, of that age that should say that I'm very stressed or something. But when I was in school, um, I kind of, was always unhappy, and I could really feel there's so much pressure that is physically, like, I can really could feel something in my head, and my head like spinning all the time and being heavy with thoughts, and I had like 10,000 thoughts at the same moment. And I had like, if I had a great day, and by the end of the day, I was like numb. So I started taking this Art of Living course. That really helped me. But again, when we talk about all this stuff, I was like, I had everything. There was nothing that I don't have. I am financially stable. I have nice parents. I had friends, on and off. But sometimes asking for help, that when you don't understand what is happening to you, what is wrong with you, and then what do we ask? Because even when I tell people that something is not fine, I am not happy, or I just don't, I'm just surviving, say, not really enjoying things. Maybe there's a motive for which I am going, but after that, there's nothing else. There's like, I'm just there for my family, or I have, because I have responsibility. But other than that, I have nothing, or no reason. So how do I explain it? Because whenever we try to ask for help from anybody, say from the immediate family members of our friends, or from anybody who's not related even, they are not having that emotional quotient in them, because even they sometimes feel, what is she talking about, she seems so happy. Because I am the person who always put on a smile on my face. See, even when I'm talking with somebody, nobody can understand that what I'm really going through, and or they consider me as a happy person, but from within I know what is going on inside me. So how do we ask for help, and how do we make ourselves emotionally available to people like us?
So I'll tell you a few things what I noticed here. One, anyone can go through it. It doesn't have to be an elder or young, or, you know, the most amount of suicides that happen in this world happen between the age of 13 to 21. So that's like the most crucial age, and our education system doesn't help. It's very stress oriented. It's like push push push. It's only one kind of learning that happens. So it is not, it's not all hunky dory that we think that, oh, young children cannot go through depression. I The other thing is that everybody's experience in life is different. We are experiencing this live session together, but the experience for you will be very different for the experience from me, because we come from different ways of thinking, different backgrounds, different, different emotional quotients. So everything is different for us, and so our experience is very different. And so we need to understand that everybody's um, experience of any particular moment is very different from ours. So nobody is like nobody, we should never um, you know disregard somebody in saying that, oh, what problems can you have. And this actually comes down to stigma, and that's why I say that the awareness of mental health is so important as a society, so that when you ask for help, or when you say that, hey, there is at least some sort of uh, you know some sort of help available, some sort of, at least, not making it worse for you. Because what happens is, when a person who is going through mental health issues but does not know, and just like you did not know what is happening, and you just say that, hey, I'm not feeling very okay, I'm not feeling fine, I don't know what I'm feeling, but I don't know what's happening to me, but I'm not feeling very fine. Instead of us telling that person that, like, you look very happy, what problems could you have, or you have everything in life, look at the people who don't have enough, that is somehow belittling your experience as a person. And that makes this person feel that, oh, I shouldn't be feeling what I am feeling. So what happens, that you're closing that down, you're shutting those feelings down, and then the new set of feelings will come, is that, oh, I don't deserve to be happy, or, I don't deserve to, like, go through this mental health issues, I should be concentrating on something else. So you literally close down your feelings, and you're not willing to accept them anymore, because nobody else is willing to accept them. And it is not easy, and that's why I say that mental health is so important, because all of us need to understand. If I say that one in every family is suffering, or will be suffering, or have suffered, that means that each four other people in the family should know how to support that person. And sometimes we don't. But I think the most important thing for anybody to be next to somebody who's suffering from mental health is acknowledge and understand that, this person is suffering, and let's be sensitive towards their feelings. I think for your personal, like when I was suffering, I think that there was a lot of social withdrawal. So now, like, my friends don't understand, my family doesn't understand, my this doesn't understand. What do I do now? And I think maybe I'm a very inquisitive person, so I did like fall down, and I did like was like, complete depression, and I was not eating, or I was sleeping all the time. But I did a little bit of research, and I kept finding out, and I kept talking to some people who I think would understand. And that's when I got introduced to meditation. And meditation has been like the hugest help for me. But there are so many things that we can do in terms of like helping ourselves if we can catch ourselves that, oh, my mental health is now going low. And how we can understand that my mental health is going low now is being aware of our emotions. So a basic thing you could do is journaling. Like sit down every day at the end of the day or the beginning of the day. I prefer it in the mornings, but every end of the day or every morning, sit down with a journal and write down exactly what you're feeling. And initially you will not know. And I think we need to explore the words. I'm feeling upset. I'm feeling, sad. I'm feeling like I'm grieving. I'm feeling frustrated. I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling, we need to like explore these words so that we can really pinpoint exactly which feeling am I feeling. Because once we start getting aware of our feelings, then we can dig down deeper. But when we don't know and we're feeling 5,000 things together, then we just numb out everything. And because our brain also has like a capacity, and it's like, oh my God, I'm tired now. And so it will just shut down and it'll be like, all right, I'm not feeling anything now. I don't know if that answered your question. Sorry, I go into a tangent
Yes.
because
No, no, it definitely did give a direction to it. So, see, okay, now asking help is covered, that what we can do. But for the part of the third person from to whom we are going, what can they do?
so first thing is mostly to be able to hear the person without judgment. So this stigmatization that, oh, you can't be going through this, or you have everything, or you seem so happy. Most people going through depression never put on a sad face on their face. Never. They will always pretend that they're very, very happy in front of people, because they don't want everybody to know what they're going through. They think like, oh my God, it's too much, and I cannot have everybody into my life. So it's very important for the other person to see the signs. It's also important to give a very non-judgmental environment and space that they will, they will put out. Someone's writing here that accept their truth, and that's very, very important. You accept their truth, meaning you accept their what they're saying and their feelings, because that is what their truth is, their feelings at this moment. And we should really be willing to listen and accept that, no, you are feeling this. I acknowledge it and I hear you. Another thing that is very important is that you could help those people do basic things. Like when someone is going through depression and anxiety, even basic things like cooking food or taking a shower is such a big deal, or cleaning the house or doing their laundry. So helping with these things just relieves them off, and they can really like be able to somehow, to a small extent, relax their mind. They're like, okay, at least don't have to deal with this. Because I mean, someone going through depression, I used to go through that. And then you get up and, all right, Monday morning you have to go to work. Now you spent the whole Saturday, Sunday just like in a corner crying your shit out, and on Monday morning you need to go to work, and then you see that your clothes are all dirty, and that just triggers a new like fall down. Like you will just sit down there and you'll cry all over and you'll break down all over, like, oh, I'm so useless, I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that. And so I think that it's very important that you can help them. If you can help them, then you should help them like this, maybe give them something to eat, cook something for them, something of their favorite, give them a healthy meal, uh, I don't know, do their laundry for them. Someone's commented here, give them personal space. Very, very important. I've had people who are like, oh, you should talk to me, but I don't want to talk to you right now. I don't have this personal space. I'm not in this right mindset to talk to you, and maybe rather than talking to me, bring me a meal. Maybe rather than talking to me, just let me know that I am there for you, and maybe when I'm ready, I will come. Maybe rather than talking to me, send me a song. Maybe rather than talking to me, like somehow just give them small openings. Like, let them know whenever you're ready, I am here to listen. And it's very important not to have any of our judgments out there, because then when we have our judgments, then they will not come back and tell us, because they'll not feel heard. They'll feel like, oh, but whenever I tell this person, they only judge me. So it's very important with that as well. And this is a very important point that this Karma Kola has put up.
Yes, because even I feel that whenever somebody asks how are you or are you fine or what is happening to you, when they can see some change and you're like, no, I'm fine, because we know that if I say yes, I'm not right, then the next question would be why, what is happening, and we don't have the answer for that. Ki, what is happening? I don't know. Why is it happening? I don't know. I just don't know, but I am like that. So, yeah, that you said give them small opening, that would really mean a lot. Just giving them the feeling that they are there, they're always there to listen whenever you're ready. And even if you don't want to talk, they are doing these little things that matter to you to get back to the normal life you had. So now after talking all about that, how do we differentiate between these different mental health issues? Because we are okay, I am suffering from something, but what health issue am I suffering from? How do I differentiate? Is it depression? Is it panic? Or is it anxiety or anything else?
I can give you a few. I'm not a mental health expert, so I can give you a few from what I know. But what is very, very important, help you listen, but they will not be able to give you the tools to come out of it. The tools are best given by a therapist, by someone who is and if it's like it's a really deeply enrooted thing or something, someone needs to take medications, then it's very, very important to reach to a therapist. And I think that there's a lot of stigma behind that as well. Therapist means, oh my God, something is super wrong with me. One, if something is wrong with you, if you will have a broken leg, will you not go for your surgery? It is very important to do that. So just like how if there's something wrong, and if there's something wrong in your mind, then yes, go see a therapist, go visit someone. But coming back to what you said, the different types of mental health illnesses. So there is obviously anxiety, depression. Sorry, I got a little distracted. Yes, important not to be impatient to meeting a therapist. I will say that it's a very tricky thing when someone is going through a mental health. When someone is going through a mental health issue, when they realize that they want help, initially they don't realize, and they're like, oh my God, in this circle of like a very dark space, whatever. And when they realize, they just wanted to go away quickly. It's like, oh my God, I need to like go. But it never happens like that. And mental health, a therapist is not going to give you like you do this
A
and you will be
magic
fine.
wand.
Yeah, there's never a magic wand. And also that you need to understand that it can always come back. Healing is never a straight line. It is always going to be like that and like this and like that and like this. It's always there. You will fall back and you will come back and you will fall back and you will come back. The only good news is that when you fall back, you will have the tools now to come back faster. So when before you were falling down, you were coming back very, very slowly. Now you will come back faster every single time because now you have the tools. And so coming back to this, what are the different types? So uh, there is like things like bipolar diseases, and then a lot more like hallucinations and there are too many. So I think that the most basic of them that we all know the most common is anxiety and depression. And anxiety um, is mostly this time when our body and our mind is not able to deal with everything that we're going through. So anxiety means that you're not like heavy heart palpitations. You want to shut off. You feel scared. You're shaking. You start sweating. These are all symptoms of anxiety. And these usually, this is an episode that can last between a few seconds to, maybe a few minutes to a few hours. So depression is obviously a state that lasts for a few months, a few years. You can have good days and you can have bad days and things like that. So while in depression, you can go through anxiety or have anxiety attacks like all the time. And there's medications for anxiety because anxiety is very physical. It is all doing with your body now, and it manifests like that. So it's you have anti-anxiety tablets, but you also have um, tools to deal with anxiety. I'll give like the most basic rule is rule of five senses. You go and touch something. So either you take a shower, you touch a cold floor, you sit down on the cold floor, you go out in the nature, you touch something real. You feel something. Sorry, that was touch. You smell something. Sitting with a hot cup of coffee. You know, I don't know, sipping in a nice fruit tea. To drink coffee is not a good idea at that time because it makes it worse. But to smell anything beautiful, to smell flowers, smell, I don't know, a good tea, a cup of coffee, whatever. But you invoke your senses. So you smell something, you taste something, you drink a glass of water. But these are called grounding techniques. So you touch something, you feel something, you feel something, you smell something, you taste something, you hear something. So this is like it's called basic grounding techniques, and when you invoke all these senses, it helps to calm a person down from anxiety when they're having an anxiety attack.
Okay, so whenever we're trying to suppress these feelings, or say the past or childhood trauma, we come out to be more agitated and arrogant person with anger issues, being impatient, intolerant, and lazy maybe. So, how do we stop ourselves from becoming that person?
The basic first thing is awareness. So if you are aware of your habits, of what you're doing, if you are aware that this agitation is coming from somewhere else, if you are aware that this is not, this frustration that I am throwing out on people is coming from somebody else, something else, you know. If this and I don't like to call someone being lazy, because it's not just plain lazy. There is some reasons behind it. So this no unmotivation, demotivation to do something. If we are aware that it's coming out from something else, then that is the first step. When we are aware, we will look for different things. Really it, and I really need that help, you know. I really need to get out of this. If you as a person will not take that first step, however many people will tell you, but you will not be willing to do it. This is inner work. This is everything to do within. Even when you go to see a therapist, they will only give you tools. You will never help yourself unless you work with yourself within. And the best way to work is to be aware and then acknowledge.
Okay. So, since the start of this COVID and the lockdown been extended over and over again, it has triggered various issues to people who never had any. So how do we deal with it? Because we cannot physically do anything to get over with it or to get away with it. So how do we deal with it? And how has COVID affected the mental health of people?
Wow, COVID has affected mental health like mad. Before I get to that, I will tell you that in Tanzania, we've never had a lockdown, okay, since the beginning of COVID. And even if we did not have a lockdown, the amount of anxiety that I myself went through, I went through, I was a COVID patient earlier this year. That was in late January, early February. And I was very sick. I was at home. I was 2-3 days now. I'm just in bed and I have no energy to do anything. And then one day I was like, okay, I think let me just get out, like take a walk around the block, because this sitting in this house is depressing me, you know? And so I get out around the block, and I had a little bit of pain in my hand, but I did not realize that. And then when I start walking, the pain gets more, and then the pain goes over to my shoulder, to my arm, and then suddenly my leg is hurting, this part of the head started hurting. And this is like in a matter of probably 10 minutes. And I thought now the pain was becoming like numb. And I thought that, oh my God, am I going through like a paralysis attack? Because like literally my whole right side started feeling like painful and numb. And when I got home, I got very scared. So I got home, I called up my doctor, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening to me, but this is what is coming up. And he said, you're going through an anxiety attack. It is just basic that. And I realized that although we had no lockdown here, we didn't care much. Sometimes we would put on our masks, sometimes we wouldn't. And, you know, like nobody really is, like there is no lockdown. People are socializing as normal. Although we are doing all this, but the fear is so huge that once I got it, I felt like, oh my God, you know, like, am I going to die now? What is going to happen next? You know, do I need to get hospitalized? Do I not? Like this constant think of what really is COVID, because it's so new, and how is it going to affect me is just like so scary. And so I think that it's like double fears when people are sitting at home, because one, it is that fear of, oh my God, I don't want to contract this new virus that I know nothing about. And then because you want to know things about it, you get to the media and you are like, oh my God, this is happening. Oh my God, this is happening. These people are dying. This is happening, and this is coming up. This is coming up. One day you'll say, oh, you can't, one symptom is loss of smell and taste, and then the other one will say, oh, I lost no smell and taste. And so you're like, oh my God, am I okay? You can't smell something, like, oh my God, do I have COVID? So it's like a constant stress that you're going through. And the media just doesn't help. I mean, it just makes it like so huge that we're constantly like addicted to this very high intensity, information and and you're like, oh my God, and you feel even more scared and even more scared. And then we're going to our trauma response. Like our head then sits here, and all we want to do is fight or flight. So we're constantly getting this I don't know, this response that we're like the minute something happens, you're like, oh my God, do I have this? It's like just a survival instinct. Yes, it's exactly the word, helplessness and overwhelmed. You just feel like I can't do anything. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Then the other part of it is that during lockdown, you are forced to get out of your routine. And we are very much used to our routine. So you are forced to get out of your routine. Now you have to sit at home. For some people, sitting at home is not all hunky-dory. Now they have to, like the women in the house now, have to work even more harder because everybody's in the house. They have to clean more because, everyone's making a mess. Nobody's cleaning up after themselves. They're eating more. They're I have to cook more. I have to do this. There's children in the house now. Constant bickering, fighting, this. They're also going through the stress of not going out. And it's become more and more and more. Those of us who are privileged, I think that they have really got a chance to sit down and calm down. And really, initially was so hard and it was so this thing, and we were like, oh, meetings in here and meetings there, and let's do it online and let's do this. And I'm trying to work, but I just can't, and I'm all scared, and then now we've learned somehow that if we shut off, we're able to somehow be with our feelings. And I think that during this COVID, a lot of people have understood that slowing down really helps understand themselves better. So that's only one thing that I will tell everybody during the lockdown to deal with themselves is just accept and try and slow down in life. Accept the fact that there is a lockdown and we can't do anything about it. And so just try and slow down in life. And I know that not everybody has the privilege to do that. But even if your house is super dirty, let it be for a little while. Take some time off for yourself. And I think just slowing down and taking everything, keeping away from everything around us and just shutting down for a little while in life just helps so much deal with everything else. We build our emotional resilience then.
So after talking about mental health to a certainly great extent, there's also one more issue, and for which we are working too. That's the women empowerment, the rape culture, the male chauvinist society that's putting so much pressure on the women and are literally exploiting them and their rights and everything. So, how did you get associated with it? What do you do, and how do you deal with the women who have been through a lot in their lives?
I'm a victim of this, like we all are. I think, I'm a victim of this. I come from a family that is a very there is, I guess, all Indian families are very like patriarchal families. So I come from a family from a very patriarchal family, but my mom was a very, very strong person. She's the one who brought us up, and I have always seen her doing like everything for us in the house. And then I got married, and when I got married, it was like the very same patriarchal environment, you know. So you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that, you're not allowed to wear this, you're not allowed to go there, you're not allowed to do this. And it was so constant. I thought it was a norm. I think that excuse me. I think that over time, over the years, as I came to, as I grew up and I understood myself, I realized that that is not how it is. I am a human. I have a life. I have aspirations. I have needs. I have wants, and as the patriarchal society treats us so much as objects rather than humans, I am not okay with that. And so I decided to break out of this. And when I did, I realized that there was no support for any women breaking out from these chains. It was like, oh, but that is how it is. You know, that is the norm. Like, you're supposed to sacrifice. You're supposed to, oh, you need to sacrifice for the sake of your children. You need to sacrifice for the in the name of the sacred marriage. You need to sacrifice because men are men. You need to sacrifice because, you know, that's how our society is. And I think that this triggered me to say that what I went through, I do not want anybody else to go through. And so that became my passion. And now I speak out against rape culture, against, you know, the chauvinistic society. And I mostly do that using personal experiences or my personal Instagram handle. I speak out and I share out and I, you know, speak of my own experiences that every single woman go through every single day. Just an example, I rent a house and my landlord is an old man. When I go to pay my bills to him, he doesn't talk to me properly. But when my partner goes, he talks to him really, really sweetly. And it just like makes me super, super angry that I am the one. As a woman, I am the one who's paying your bills. I am the one who is on your contract. I am the one who is, you know, who is your tenant, for to say. But the male society just, you know, puts the whole thing on men, like the provider. And so they think that, oh, he's the provider of the family, and that's why he is supposed to, like, I'm only supposed to talk to him. You know, all important stuff are only supposed to be done by men. So I talk about all this and bring up all these conversations, and the fact that women are treated as objects and you know, commented upon and, you know, commented on their body, or people just saying that, oh, you're smart for a woman. That means what? Women are not smart? Or you'll say that, oh, you're quite different than another woman. No, we're not. We have strengths in us. We have strengths in us. We have physical capabilities in us. We have mental capabilities. We have women who are astronauts and engineers and basic homemakers, and they make all the change. And I'm not saying that. Yeah, I'm not saying that
Like
men
when you
are
say
saying, yeah.
like when people say that beauty with brains, or you are too good to be doing this, or you don't seem like you've achieved so much, and it's really offending sometimes because, excuse me, what are you trying to say here, that being beautiful and being smart are totally like non you're getting what I'm
Yeah,
trying
like,
to say. It's,
yeah.
yeah.
And then they're non-existent together, you know?
Yes, right.
And also, like, sometimes if you're very daring, whatever, they'll say, oh, you've got moles. No, I don't have moles, for God's sake. Like, I am me. I am a human. I am a female identity, and I love who I am because I am strong. I don't need some men to open a fucking, jam jar for me. Just basic. And it's okay if you can't. They're hacks. But it's just that, like, this ideology that women are nothing without men is the problem. If we just stop comparing, if we just stop, I don't know, if we just stop, like, fitting this women in a box and saying that women are supposed to be the homemakers and women are supposed to be the one who brings up the children, or women are supposed to be getting pregnant, or women wax, and they should, this is where we create this ideology.
I'm sorry, I think it just got paused. Give
No
me a
worries, I can
moment.
hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that all these things just make society think that women are okay to be objectified. And yeah, that just makes me so angry.
Yeah, because even from my perspective, I'd like to say two things. First, because whenever we see raising boys, we are like men will be men, and we are very much promoting that kind of behavior. Like a girl should be not behave more ladylike. I mean, what is it? And whenever for daughters, the word they use is that you're the man of the house. No, I'm not the man. I am the woman of the house, and I'm very proud to be that. Um, we've seen that in especially stereotypical societies around us, though with times the family's thinking is also changing, but still, whenever we talk about this orthodox Indian societies, I'll talk about, they are more like you should seek permission before doing this, or say if you have to go anywhere, first ask from either the father or ask from your husband, or if you have to go on a trip, say then you should go, but with your husband. But that makes typically no sense, because I have been there with you the whole life, and you don't trust me, but you are trusting some stranger that would suddenly come, make an association, and you will trust my whole life with him. So yeah, that is the problem, and I think the main problem is that girls are also accepting that kind of behavior in this time.
So there is two things in it. First, I get so upset about when someone says that, like the father or the brother says that, oh, you can't go alone at night, or you can't go alone to this. Why can't you? Because you're scared of other men hurting your children. So the problem here is men. Or and I'm not just like, I don't want to come at a misandrist. Like, I'm not saying like all men are like that, but it's because that men are also not being able to trust other men is when we have this. If this was not there, if rape wasn't a thing, then we could go out at night and do everything we want just like men do. We have to be careful in society only because men are, and a huge portion of men are like that. We are scared of being violated. We are scared of being, hit and raped and doing things like that because of this. And when you say that men are you're told at home, or you need to like take permission and this and that, it's only because they can't trust other men. And I agree that there's so much like women fall into this. Like, um, I met some friends and they were like, oh, like we travel alone and we do this and we do this. But I am going to do an arranged marriage. And so I am going to go in front of a random stranger and like prepare chai for him and give it to him and then say, oh, how do you like me types? Which is obviously like arranged marriage and love marriages have their own these things. But I just think this whole setting of women being presented as an object and men come and choose that object like you're going to choose in a supermarket. Oh, she looks quite decent, she has the characteristics like we're buying a computer and saying, oh, this one has Intel and this one has this and this one has this. Oh, she's studied this much and she earns this much and, she can make tea and she can do this and she can do this. It's like some checkpoints. And no, we're not objects like that. And so, yeah, it's too vast a subject. It's so much to say about it, but yeah.
Yeah, it is, as it's not that easy as it sounds. And basically, when I was in school, I'd like to share this experience. So an IPS officer came in the school, and I guess she was a female. And I asked her in the seminar that about the same issue that is being prevailing. We are not safe at night. We cannot go outside alone. We have to dress properly so that we feel safe, and all those things. So I asked her what can we do, and she was like, and I even asked ki, what can I do if I see some random guy molesting or say doing any or harassing a girl in between a street. And what she said just shook me. She said, step back, do nothing. And I was like, you being an IPS officer are saying like that, what do you expect us to do? And I was really angry at that moment, but then I understood the gist of it. She was actually right, because this venom has grown so much into the society that even if I individually go out and help, not even am I putting my life in danger and that person's life in danger, but everybody's life in danger too, because it has become quite suicidal, and it would turn violent. So though it was very shocking to hear, but it is a sad reality, because we now it has grown so much that we really cannot do, even if I want to.
I agree. I mean, for your personal safety, but I think that if we all stay with that attitude, that it will grow more and more. I think
Then
that
more
the
and
more
more,
and the more we
definitely.
speak out, the more I know it will be difficult and it will put us in trouble and a lot of things will happen. But the more we speak out, the more the more we can induce a change. The more women speak out, the more women say that, no, this is not okay. The more women start saying that, like, this is, I don't accept you doing this to me or to any other women around me. And I think that, that will make a huge difference for us.
Yeah, so we could conclude by saying that it's really the high time that all the women come together, be strong, independent, and stand for their rights. And not even women, men also need to understand that there are women in your family only that are not feeling safe, let alone the women of other families. So, guys, you really need to be the change yourself if others are not doing it.
I
Only
will say
then we
one
can
more thing.
change it.
Yeah, I will say one
Yeah.
more thing to the men who say that not all men, because I understand that you are not part of it. And I will say this to all those men who are amazing to their immediate families. And you say not all men. You are amazing to your friends and to your families, and you really respect women in your lives. Speak up. Speak up for those women who cannot. Speak up for those women who are still going through it. Speak up against those men who are doing this. Stop this locker room talks. Do not laugh at the sexist jokes that come up, because it's so common. And I get through this all the time that, not all men. Yes, not all men, but it is enough men to make us feel unsafe.
Right. So it was very nice talking to you, Masuma. We have exceeded our time limit. There's definitely a lot more that we can talk about, maybe in future, definitely.
Sure.
But for now, that was about it. So any last comments that you'd like to add to this conversation?
No, just thank you so much for having me here. And guys, take care of your mental health. It is very important, just like how you take care of your physical health. It's very, very important to take care of your mental health. You will not be able to do anything in life if your mental health is not fine. Just like if your leg is broken or your hand is broken, you won't be able to go ahead in life. I think that it's very important that it is dealt with, and dealt with now. And even when you're not going through it, it's very important to have a healthy mental health.
Yes, so that was really insightful today. Thank you so much, Masuma, joining us,
Thank you.
and take care. Goodbye.
Thanks. You too.
And thank you
Bye.
everybody for joining us. Bye, bye, bye. Take care.